I was thinking about the fact that I think environmentalism really starts with love of a place. As a child, I think if you can fall in love with a place, whether it's the ocean or the mountains or the land,
Mhm.
um, you start to realize how precious it is. And then you start to care about how it's treated. And that was really the case for my children with Bald Head Island. Um, Bald Head Island is one of the barrier islands off the coast of North Carolina, where I've lived for almost 25 years now. And our family has gone on vacation to this island for about 17 years, I think. So from the time my children were babies, we were going. And you have to take a ferry from the mainland of North Carolina to get there. The barrier islands are a really special ecosystem, very diverse, very interesting. And most of the barrier islands have a beach side, which is where most people go. And then they also have a sound side that has a salt marsh. And that marsh is critically important, whether it's the marsh on these barrier islands or marshland on the coast of, off of our oceans. Like if you think about New Jersey, for example, with all that marsh. Um, they act as filtration. They act as a nursery for lots of species. They filter all sorts of bad things out of the water, and they're just so important. And when I made this piece, it was right after Hurricane Florence hit the coast, which was in 2018. It dumped about 36 inches of rain on North Carolina, and it was catastrophic, not only for the people of that area. I mean, there were a lot of deaths, a lot of people who were just totally wiped out, but it also exacerbated existing problems that we have in North Carolina we have coal ash beds where they've, from making energy out of coal, they've buried the ash underground. And with all that water, it started leaking into the rivers and into our water system. We also have a huge pork industry in North Carolina, and a lot of the waste, both the urine and feces from hogs, is stored in these big, lakes basically on farms. Guess what happens when you get 36 inches of rain? That too goes into the water system. It all drains through the creeks and the rivers and then out into Cape Fear. And Cape Fear comes out right at Bald Head Island. So it was influenced by all of that. The water was so high on Bald Head that the alligators were swimming down the little roads. Um, it was about 6 feet deep in those roads. So, I found after the hurricane, I went online and was looking for photos of what the island looked like with all this rain, and found this photo by Steve Montgomery. He had been flying in a helicopter and was able to take this photo. So I contacted him and got permission to use his photo. But when I looked at it, it just seemed like arteries and capillaries.
Mhm.
And it made me realize how much the salt marsh is the heart of the island. Um, it's recovered pretty well, but the ecological damage that we are doing and climate change are making all of the hurricanes much, much worse. And it's going to influence the people and the land in ways that I think we have only started to really understand.